and welcome to another episode of Drink to a Decade, where we celebrate the 30th anniversary of one of the most iconic comedy movies and one of the launches of Jim Carrey's acting career, The Mask. Oh, it is that time again. Hey, can you not cough at my show?
I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. You ruined my whole intro. Son of...
You were going to do it again anyways.
I wasn't. I was actually okay with that take. You know what? No, it's fine. No one cares. Hello and welcome, blah, blah, blah. I am your amazing, spectacular host with the most, Detective Artemis.
And I'm Journey.
Oh, yes. And like I mentioned, we are talking about the 30th fucking anniversary of The Mask, based off the comic book by Dark Horse Comics in the early 90s.
Holy fuck, I'm old.
Yes, you are. We established that every episode.
Yep. Except my birthday was just like a week ago, so yeah, I definitely feel old now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. I just want to rub that in.
Yeah. Okay, well, you're rubbing something else. I need you to stop. Put that thing away.
I can't. It has a mind of its own.
Anywho, The Mask. It is 1994, and this is part of the year where Jim Carrey released three of his arguably biggest movies of all time.
No.
Dumb and Dumber, which we'll cover later, The Mask, and Ace Ventura, which we missed. So,
Yeah.
Tell me some of your earliest memories of The Mask.
Dude, this was like one of the movies I watched growing up. And especially because I was like grounded a lot. Like I didn't get to watch a lot of things. And also we didn't have a lot of money, so we didn't have that many. Basically, I only had a small little shelf with VHSs. And one of the VHS tapes was The Mask, along with Godzilla and TMNT, Secret of the Ooze.
Solid collection.
Yep. And then there was probably one or two others that I just don't remember. They weren't that important. But like I always had the VHS, and that's why I constantly play that movie over and over again. And Cameron Diaz, like the hottest she's ever been. Like she was beautiful, biggest crush. I think she's the reason why I'm into blondes.
Well, hang on. Before we
and Hilary Duff.
Hilary Duff.
Yeah.
Duff man.
Biggest crushes.
You know, we slowly, like, with every episode, you slowly give away some of your childhood, and it gets more and more depressing. And I feel like one day we should just have an open mic and just unpack all that stuff. I'm going to say that right now.
Why do you think we do these podcast episodes?
This is like a therapy session.
Yeah.
Am I a doctor?
Isn't that most podcast episodes? They're all therapy sessions.
Usually they're just like really terrible rant sessions.
Especially when they involve alcohol. I don't think you're supposed to have alcohol during therapy sessions.
Well, thankfully that's not a law, because I would be busted and be dropping the soap on purpose.
Oh, wow.
Anywho,
Wow.
You mentioned Cameron Diaz, and yes, I'm 98% sure this was her first like acting movie.
100%. It was her first acting role.
Right.
She was 21 and Jim Carrey was 31.
Oh, okay. Does that fly today?
No. I mean, look at Leonardo DiCaprio.
So
they're not giving him shit, and like how old is he now? Like 50 something?
He's like in his 50s for sure.
Yeah, and all his girlfriends are under 25.
Nice.
There's an expiration date, 25. Like,
nice.
I mean, if you have that much money and that famous and that good looking, yeah, you got an expiration date, girl.
Well, since you mentioned my favorite movies, which you didn't ask me.
Oh.
Some of my early memories are pretty much like I never owned the VHS of it. I would just kind of catch it on TV. I never got to see it in theaters, but it was just so like you couldn't take your eyes off it, because it was just so. I mean, obviously it's supposed to be cartoony, but like it was just so like visually appealing. And Jim Carrey, dude,
very much.
He really brought it to life. Jim Carrey, especially at that time, was a living cartoon character.
Yes, absolutely.
He's just such a one of a kind with his mannerisms and his voice and his facial expressions. The dude he's a comedy legend for sure. Yeah,
he basically brought cartoons live action. Like and that was all him. His attitude he's a natural walking cartoon character, along with what's his face, Robin Williams. Again,
the late great Robin Williams.
Two different actors that like you just know that's their personality in real life. Like that's how good they are.
True. And then towards the like end of the 90s, you know, he was getting to his sad clown phase where he was doing was it not Bruce Truman Show?
Oh yeah.
And then he went.
Wait, I thought Truman Show was more earlier in his career.
No, I think Truman Show was after. It was for sure after. It was like 97 or something.
Yeah, because he seemed a lot more younger in that, in Truman Show. But yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, Truman Show was 1998.
98.
Yeah,
and this is 94. So it was 4 years afterwards.
Right. So then he started doing like a little more serious roles like that, where it was still comedy, but then it had some pretty like serious and dark tones to it. And then at some point he did the Number 23, which is a terrible horror movie.
Oh, I kind of liked it. Like
I like the idea of numerology, but there was just I don't know. It was just too much.
It's weird when you see an actor. It's the same thing like with Robin Williams when he did the photo booth. What is it called? Yeah, the photo booth. Like so anyways, it's a super dark, like he's basically a serial killer. And
okay.
Yeah, and it's and so yeah, it's like seeing these guys who play like really funny roles then go and do something so serious and like I mean they're good. They still knock it out. It doesn't seem right. It's like Will Ferrell when he does his like serious stuff too. Like it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel natural.
Although some of them like they do it better than others. Robin Williams, he did serious roles really well.
Yeah.
You think of stuff like Dead Poets Society.
True, but
Patch Adams.
But that's him showing his like witty, like emotionally, empathetic side. Photo booth, he's a serial killer. He's like a weird serial killer. It's like that one. It's just like Number 23. Like you feel like this wasn't your role, dude. Like you did great, but I can't see you as this. Like you're tainting my image of you.
Yeah, and this is kind of off topic, but kind of on the same topic. Let's go to The Shining for a second, because the whole point of the movie is where it's a regular dad and his descent into madness, right?
Yeah.
So the reason why Stephen King didn't like Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance is because he already looked like he was crazy. There was no real descent or contrast.
Yeah.
So if you got like a guy like Robin Williams, who is typically like a nice cool dad, and you slowly see him take that descent, that'd have been much more effective.
True.
Jack Nicholson is Jack Nicholson. He's amazing. It was an excellent performance and great movie.
Yeah.
But I kind of agree with Stephen King, like, if it was just a normal person or normal, who didn't have any hint of crazy, and then you can really feel that change once he hits that descent.
Yeah, because Jack Nicholson definitely. I mean, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and the Joker. Like he definitely can't play those like crazy roles. And that makes more sense. But definitely, Shining had its own like fun little parts to it. But you're right. Like that would have really been a cherry on top if there was like a proper casting for that.
Yeah, so I didn't mean to go off too topic, but I thought it was just kind of fun to mention, comedy actors doing serious stuff.
Yeah, and what other? I have a bunch more like good memories about this though. Like, so to get back on topic, there was a scene in this movie that like as a kid never clicked, and until I rewatched it as I got older, I was like, oh my god, it's like how did I not notice that as a kid? But there's a part where he's fighting the gangsters and like he's like pulling stuff out and making balloon animals, and out of his pocket he pulls out a used condom. As a kid, I did not remember that.
Oh yeah, and he's like wrong pocket,
and I was like, I did not remember that. Like I remember the scene as a kid. I never knew that was a used condom. And as I was reading about the scene last night, it turns out that was all completely improvised by Jim Carrey.
Oh, okay.
He just had a used pocket, like condom in his pocket. Just had it. Just pulled it out.
You think he was was it used? I didn't see that part.
It looked used.
Now, who did he use it on, do you think?
That's a really good question.
I don't know, man.
It's a really good question. Yeah, is he even married now? Like,
well, yeah. I mean, I guess circling back to memories, that's kind of all I really had. But this is kind of for a later topic. But the whole Cuban Pete thing, that's the scene that always sticks with me forever.
Yeah.
Same. You know what? We're gonna transition to the next part of this.
Let's go.
Favorite moments. So Cuban Pete is probably the most memorable one for me.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite one, it's actually not any of the scenes with the mask, but it's more of more of a thematic thing, because I don't know if you remember when Ben Stein, there's like, oh, we all wear a mask metaphorically.
Metaphorically speaking.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's based off also like a Japanese philosophy or something around there, that we all have two faces. One we show the public, and one we keep to ourselves.
Yeah.
So I mean, as a kid, you know, I like all the mask scenes, but now with like a more mature lens, I guess.
Yeah.
That one sticks to me the most, because I totally agree. We all have at least two different faces.
Yeah.
Like right now, you see me as like, oh, this guy is so cool, man. He's so funny. But when you're gone, I just hate myself. I'm abusing myself watching all these videos, and it's just.
This is why we do these podcasts.
You know what? I think it's starting to come true. Yeah. So that was probably my favorite part. Is this the whole the metaphorical, and the reoccurring theme is that the duality. We all have two things.
That is definitely the theme of the whole movie, because this goes across all the characters. You have Jim Carrey, who's the nice guy, finished last, who's always holding himself back, who then changes and kind of then bursts out differently. You have Cameron Diaz's character, who's kind of like the femme fatale, who like later on falls, like who dated the bad guy, but then falls in love with the genuine guy without him being, you know, the mask or anything else. Like everybody goes through like a change during like the movie from the beginning to the end. That duality.
Even Peggy.
And Peggy.
Yeah, you know, you think she's all like, you know, a good person, and at the end she sells them out for money.
Or Dorian, like he was just a too big thug, and then ends up becoming into just a psychotic like villain, like monster,
a murderous villain. So that is an actual pretty cool reoccurring theme, and I think it's a pretty classic theme to always tell, because it's always going to resonate. Oh, fun fact about your other favorite scene, Cuban Pete. That almost got cut out. Really?
Yeah, like the producers and the stuff did not like Cuban Pete because it was too long musical number. It was way too long, but the test audiences were like, hell no, we loved it. That was so much fun.
It's one of the most like memorable scenes of the whole movie,
and it's my favorite scene too. Like that whole that musical number was great. I love but I think my most iconic favorite one is in the park with Cameron Diaz.
Okay.
When he's like swooning her, but then he gets caught by the police. Right. And they start digging through his pockets.
Yeah. And he has all that stuff.
So I read
bazooka.
The bazooka. But the best part was when they pull out the picture of Calloway's wife. Is that picture of Calloway? You bastard.
Yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, you know, you have a sense of humor, like pretty much just ragging on his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went full Pepe Le Pew right there. And he was actually wearing the French stuff too.
Oh, he was, yeah.
Yeah, and also like
all these scenes were from cartoons. They're all from cartoons.
And if you remember in the beginning, he's watching the Tex Avery wolf guy who's like super like a horn dog.
Yeah, that was basically.
Yeah, so that's one of the characters like influences, and then there's Tasmanian Devil, and then Pepe Le Pew.
Roger Rabbit. No, not Roger Rabbit. Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny. Yeah.
There's also kind of a Roger Rabbit reference when he gets ran over and he's like, "Look, Mom, roadkill!" Ha ha. Then that's what happens with Christopher Lloyd's character in Roger Rabbit. He kind of gets smashed up.
That's true. Yeah, I haven't. I need to rewatch Roger Rabbit.
Great movie.
That was a great movie.
And one more circle back. That Robin Williams movie is actually called 1 Hour Photo.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, 1 hour photo.
Because I was like, hang on, I want to look that up. That sounds pretty cool.
Nah. I love the Jack. Oh, next, my other favorite part was the Jack Russell Terrier. That dog was the cutest.
Milo.
Milo
He's
was
so cool,
so smart. For the longest, I wanted a Jack Russell Terrier because of Milo.
They jump high.
5 feet.
5 feet.
They can do 5 feet.
That's like half my height. That's crazy.
Yes, that's why he was the perfect dog for the jailbreak, because that dog would literally be able to make that jump. That was so impressive.
Milo, keys. No, not cheese.
Not the cheese. Let go. How am I supposed to throw it with you attached to it?
Well, what's actually it's a deleted scene technically, but it was with Peggy, and they actually kill her.
Yeah.
Where they throw her into like the newspaper thing, and she gets all smashed up. That was a deleted scene, and I can see why they take it out, because I guess they wanted Peggy to live. And then she also comes back.
For a sequel. They wanted her for a sequel,
They want to like leave some sequel space. Yeah.
There was another deleted scene I heard of but didn't see. and it's in the beginning of the movie. They show Vikings bearing the mask.
Oh yeah, so right, like he finds it
He
eventually.
finds it eventually, yeah, and kind of like the origins of where it comes from. And so I was like, that those are two deleted scenes I wish they wouldn't have taken out because they would have been great.
I mean, I get why they wanted to keep Peggy alive, but I mean, she wasn't really that much of a major character anyway.
No,
And she was kind of a bitch.
She was. I mean, so it would have been perfect to kind of show her, get her like just desserts, like karma coming around. That would have been perfect because she's the only one that comes out winning.
Right.
You have the briefcase full of money. Like, yeah, that's not fair.
What were some of your like least favorite moments?
Oh damn, that's a good question. Damn, I don't know, man. Like, I kind of like the whole thing. I can't really think of it. But what are your least? I'll think of mine while you give me yours.
I kind of agree that there's nothing I really don't like about it. I guess any scene with Dorian, I don't really give a shit about him.
Really?
I mean, I get that.
He's a perfect villain though.
He's a good. He's for the movie, he's pretty good.
Because he's supposed to be Stanley Ipkin's like opposite.
Right, like his doppelganger, but like his his
opposite reflection or something like that.
Yeah,
there's a term, I forgot what that term is.
I know, I say it all the time and I forget.
Yeah, I forgot.
But like also the beginning scene where he gets like, because in the beginning of the movie they show Stanley Ipkiss as like a guy who's just sort of down on his luck and everything sucks and all shucky ducky.
Yeah.
And when he goes to Coco Cabana, the little club, whatever.
Coco Bongo Club.
Coco Bongo. It's a Coco Cabana.
Coco Bongo Club.
Coco Melon. And then I don't think they spend enough time really making him feel that sympathetic. It's like a couple of like, oh shucks moments, and then he gets the confidence when he wears the mask. He stands up to Dorian. He stands up to his boss at the bank. Yeah. So I mean, but the movie's already like almost 2 hours anyway. So yeah, it's really just me sort of grasping at straws. I fucking loved everything about this movie
because it's a great underdog story and the perfect example of like nice guys finishing last, but putting enough effort in. You can win the babe. Right. I mean, I love movies where the nerd wins the babe. And this is it.
It's about just finding that self-confidence.
Yeah, and it's a really tough journey, and sometimes it takes a green mask and a couple of dead bodies. Actually, only three dead bodies. I think that's the only body
kill count.
Yeah, the kill count. I think it's only 3.
Did those dudes from the mechanic where he shoved the things up their butt? Did they die?
No.
Okay.
Because you see a scene afterwards when they introduce Peggy. You see the guy getting pulled out with a muffler in his ass.
Oh, okay.
And the other guy screaming in the background. They're still alive.
Pretty gory, just like how the original comics used to be.
Oh yeah, That I barely read them yesterday.
Yeah, I've always wanted to read them. I kind of touched down upon them, and I'm like, okay, cool. So Big Head is what he was called.
The
Big Head Killer.
That's how they were trying to describe him. That's why they ended up becoming the Big Head.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The link you sent me was like not even the first issue, right?
I thought that because I'm like, okay, it kind of starts off with Stanley Ipkiss already being dead. So I was like, maybe it's one of those like Quentin Tarantino things where it starts at the end and then you kind of go, no, okay.
No. It's you miss like the full first like arc of it.
Got it.
Yeah, and it's like the Stanley Ipkiss arc, and in that one, it's they kind of the same thing where it's like they don't really touch upon too much of how much of a loser he is.
Yeah,
they just kind of like just go straight into the gory bloodbath and murder of it all.
Yeah, because he's in that one he's more like a murderous anti-hero, and in this one he's just kind of a prankster kid at heart kind of person.
So in the movie it is like he's a little bit more of a prankster, fun going guy, which in the comics I wouldn't call him an anti-hero. I call him more of like a chaotic neutral. It's because like he kills innocent people. Like he's trying to undo the wrong that was done to him, but the wrong wasn't even all that bad. Like, I mean, yeah, it's bad, but is it justifiably does it justify murder?
Especially innocent people.
Because I mean, like, so for example, the guys who were ripping them off and the mechanics.
Uh-huh.
So yes, they were ripping him off. The same thing is in the comic. They were ripping him off, but does that justify murder? In the movie, he doesn't murder them, but like in the comics, he he fucks him up like
Okay.
bad.
Do you think that the movie should have kept that mature or not, that like rated R kind of tone?
No, absolutely not. And especially the skipping to like the little fun fact stuff. It's like originally the director and everybody, they wanted to kind of go towards the comic side of it, actually be a little bit dark like that. But once they like found Jim Carrey and they were like, no, we got to use this guy. They rewrote they rewrote everything to kind of match his personality, goofiness and lighthearted, like and corny and stuff. And that's how they delivered him the script, where Jim Carrey looked at the script and he was like, this is perfect. This is like written for me. And yeah, like they wanted to, but they ended up going different because that's who they casted. And it's kind of perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I can't picture it being better than what it is now. I mean, even though it's like, source material, but sometimes in rare cases, the adaptation is a little bit more enjoyable than the source material.
Absolutely.
In rare cases.
Yeah. Which led to them doing a reboot comic called The Adventures of the Mask, which is based off of the movie and a little bit of the original comic. I didn't read that, but like I saw it.
I see. Speaking of adaptations, do you remember the cartoon as a kid?
I remember the cartoon. I don't remember anything. I think I might have watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but I have no memory of it.
I have just random images of the episodes, but I don't really remember anything special. I remember a couple of like X-Men jokes where he was like, I'm Wolverine and Biclops because he had 2 eyes. It's some random stuff, but I remember watching it before school, and it was, it made a lot of sense as a cartoon because he's kind of a cartoon character. So it was good.
Yeah. So it just fit in perfectly.
And they, as you mentioned, they tried to do a sequel, and they did, and then they didn't, but then they did. Do you remember Son of the Mask?
Didn't even bother with it. Like I heard so many bad things. I heard it flopped so hard,
and not because it was a good movie, no one saw it. It was just a bad movie, and everyone hated it.
Yeah.
I mean, it had none of the charm, nothing. And Jamie Kennedy's a pretty funny guy, but this
it was Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah, just the whole fucking story. Where Loki, played by Alan Cummings, who was Nightcrawler in X2. He plays Loki, trying to get his mask back. Otherwise, Odin will give him his full wrath, whatever that means. And then
that's terrible.
And then Jamie Kennedy's dog, Otis, reference to Milo and Otis. You remember that?
Oh,
Cat and dog movie had his not aged well, but damn, some pretty good shots.
Wow.
So the dog finds the mask that Jim Carrey threw in the river, which is weird because at the end of the movie you see Milo and his friend Charlie get it. So we don't really know if they get it or they just kind of gave up on finding it.
Well, in the sequel is supposed to have Charlie using the mask.
Really?
Yeah, but Milo does grab the mask, so that would make sense that Son of the Mask, the dog, would have the mask.
But it's not the same dog.
Oh, it's not the same dog?
No.
It might have just been a toy that got passed down. Or you buried it in the backyard or something.
So like I said, at the end of the mask, you see Charlie and Milo trying to get it after he threw it in the river.
Yeah.
And then in Son of the Mask, it just sort of gets washed up, and Jamie Kennedy's dog, whose name's Otis. He finds it, and then he takes it home. And then Jamie Kennedy, he doesn't want to have babies, but his girlfriend does, and he has nightmares of it. So one day he wears the mask to a costume party because he had no other costume.
Yeah.
And then he turns into the mask, and then he fucks his girlfriend while in the mask, and then his baby has the mask powers.
No fuck.
Yeah, dude.
God.
And it's some of those scenes like
that is.
And then there's another part too where his
is there
dog.
An actual sex scene? Tell me there's a sex scene.
There's no full penetration, if that's what you're asking. There's just a kind of implication, and then
there's implication that they got it on the night before. Was there boinking sounds like quack, quack, or horns in the background of them? Like
I don't remember.
No,
I mean there should have been. I would have total missed opportunity. Maybe you'll make it actually watchable. When there's also a point where the dog and the baby are fighting for Jamie Kennedy's attention, so they're kind of like fighting each other, and then there's a part where the baby's fucking dancing. It just.
Oh, I heard it's really
the
really
CGI
bad.
is
the CGI for the baby
of
dancing.
nightmares, dude. So that's that movie, and less said, the better.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Yeah, I'm probably never ever gonna watch it. I might watch it just so I could talk shit about it later.
You can. I mean, with all bad movies, they can be watchable if you make it into a pretty sweet drinking game.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Look at Batman and Robin, absolutely destroyed when it came out, and now it's revered because it just sucks so much.
Yeah.
Just like Spider-Man 3, that shit sucked when it came out. It still sucks now, but people love it because it sucks.
Yeah. I mean, The Room is a pretty good drinking game. It fucked me and Kay up a lot.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, we were almost passing out by halfway through it.
Yeah, so there is value in these really awful movies, I guess.
These awful sequels. I mean, like, and honestly, if they would have like gone towards like source material, like the comic book, like, so the comic book, yeah, the Stanley Ipkiss arc, and right after, and in there is no Tina, there is no Cameron Diaz character or a dog. It's his other girlfriend called Kathy. Yeah, and so like, she ends up killing Stanley and wearing them, and she ends up wearing the mask. So we have a female mask, and that was supposed to be part of the sequel that they were talking about. But the only reason the sequel didn't happen was because Jim Carrey was like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, he hardly ever does sequels. I mean, you only see it. He's only done it what 3 times, maybe he did it, or twice. He did it for Dumb and Dumber,
like 3 times for Dumb and Dumber.
Twice. Well, one other time. He did Ace Ventura 2.
Yeah,
Dumb and Dumber 2, and then Sonic, where he's been robotic like all 3 times.
Really? Is that the only times he's ever?
Yeah, but before that, he would like hardly ever do them because it would just dilute the character, and that was his whole thing, you know. So he didn't, and especially in like, you know, around that time, I think it was after Ace Ventura 2. He was like, you know, I'm not doing sequels or sequels anymore.
Yeah.
So that's probably what contributed to it.
Okay, then that's interesting.
Funny enough, I think Ace Ventura's Part 2 is actually I think I like it more than Part 1.
Really?
Part one's good.
I think you're right. I like the spinning part where like especially the whole wild, being out in the wild as a detective.
Bumblebee tuna.
Bumblebee tuna. Bumblebee tuna. Bumblebee tuna.
Any more trivia you have for us, sir?
I got plenty. Yes, I got.
Read while I drink.
I got plenty of stuff. So one of the facts when we were talking about earlier how Jim Carrey is just fucking was perfect for this role, that he was just so animated. Because he was so animated, he actually saved the company a lot of money. They had put aside a budget for special effects where they were going to
like enhance
the animation and looks like that, and they were like, no, he's already so animated in real life, we don't have to make him so cartoony. He's already that.
Oh, they must have loved that. And he does that same fucking walk in every movie, like that, like a creeping walk with his arms up. He does it in fucking Batman Forever, Ace Ventura, and this one.
And another fun fact about that too, how much he dove into his character. Those teeth he had,
the big teeth.
Yes, he wasn't supposed to. He like they got him those teeth, and they were like, "Hey, this is for all the quiet parts and like the parts where you have no dialogue." And he's like, "No, fuck that." He learned how to talk with those things on, which everybody thought was going to be impossible to do, but he did it. He wore them all day until he can learn how to speak with them.
Dude's a fucking legend. He is committed. He understood the assignment.
Absolutely. Which actually I heard his documentary, they talk about how overly committed he gets, where it gets really creepy and weird and annoying for everybody around him.
He's like a really elite method actor, you would say?
Yeah, and some people will call him an asshole because how deeply he dived into it. I still haven't seen the documentary. I just seen like the trailers of it. But like I mean, well, look at the roles he's played. Like they come out so grade A that, I mean, fuck it. Like let him dive that into it.
I mean, at least he's not like an asshole like certain people named Jared Leto who would send the cast members dead animals.
Is that an actual thing?
Yeah, Suicide Squad, where he was in the mind of the Joker.
He really did that? Oh my God. I didn't know that.
I was there. I saw it.
You're lying.
Or am I?
Oh shit. Let's see. What other facts do I have? Ooh, this one you're probably gonna really like. Okay. So the mechanic shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you remember the scene?
Yeah.
Where they were talking to him?
Yeah.
Yes. You know where I'm going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That scene is an unused fire station.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Are you going to say Ghostbusters?
Yes. It's the same place. They shot the same scene. It's the same fire station.
It's the same interior. It's so funny you mentioned that because when I watched it, like all three of us, Laura and Lucas and I were watching it, and Luke's like, "Hey, Dad, it's a firehouse." I'm like, "It looks like it, dude, but it's probably not."
No,
Well,
it is.
I owe somebody an apology, a little 6-year-old jerk.
Yep. But so yeah, I was wondering if you were gonna toss that in.
No, I didn't even know that. But it makes so much sense. Wow, you gotta try this poll.
All right, and then my last one's gonna be a big one because this one was very, very, very interesting.
Okay.
So when they were originally thinking about doing this movie, and they were trying to conceptualize who's gonna play who's gonna be what character, obviously for Jim Carrey, when they found him before him, they were thinking the list that they had of people that potentially would play was like Nicolas Cage, Matthew Broderick, Steve Martin, Rick Moranis, Martin Short, Keanu Reeves, Mike Myers, John Ritter, and Robin Williams. Those are all that was their list of people that they were thinking to play the role before Jim Carrey came along.
Oh wow, those are actually pretty interesting choices. I would love to see Rick Moranis as the Mask.
Yeah, and then there's one more name on the list who they actually approached and they turned it down, and that was Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell.
Oh man, what a alternative timeline that would be.
Yeah. He turned it down, and then they found Jim Carrey, and they were like, rewrote the script, and they're like, "This is our guy, full money, let's do this."
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then Will Ferrell, a couple years later, he was doing SNL, and then he kind of started his movies with Night at the Roxbury,
Yeah,
and then Superstar. I think he was in Superstar. But yeah,
I found that really interesting when I found that little bit of trivia, and I was like, "This is really early on." I mean, was this before Roxbury or after? Like,
it's before because Roxbury was like 97.
Yeah. So this is like really, really early on that they were already like he was already in the place in the whole field.
Crazy, yeah. Because I mean, normally like when they have people in mind, they're like sort of already established actors.
Exactly,
So,
especially if it's a leading role.
Yeah.
But again, this is all like early talks. Now that was the main character. Now for the female character, it was supposed to be Tina. The producers, what they had in mind was they're like, hey, we want we want something super voluptuous, hot. We want to basically redo Who Framed Roger Rabbit with Jessica Rabbit. They wanted another Jessica Rabbit, but like blonde. So their idea and the person they were so dead set on, the producers, was Anna Nicole Smith.
The late Anna Nicole Smith.
They wanted her to play it because she was like the most like voluptuous girl right there at that time, and they were like, we want a big booty, big breasted chick to play this
booty
character.
Judy.
Yes. And so they were and then apart from her, they also had a bunch of other girls, like other big name girls, like come in and what was it, audition for the role, like Uma Thurman, some other ones, until the director found Cameron Diaz walking out of a modeling agency.
So it was one of those like right place, right times.
Yeah,
those are fucking crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
found her walking out of it, fell in love with her, and so then he got her to come and audition. She had to audition like 8-10 times because the producers and everybody else weren't going for it.
But they were like really pushing for her.
They were really pushing for Anna Nicole Smith.
I mean like the was it the director?
The director was pushing for her.
Yeah, okay.
He pushed so hard for her that like he even told them, if I can't have her in this role, I'm not doing the movie.
Holy shit! And
which kind of makes you think. You know how shady Hollywood was back then? Kind of makes you think.
Oh my god! Yeah, probably.
Why was the director so infatuated with this super hot 21-year-old with no acting experience?
You know, they should make a series of adult movies or videos and call them Casting Couch.
Oh.
Is that not a thing?
That's a big idea. Let's do this.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Do it.
Let's start our production. Call it, I don't know, Bang Bros.
Bang Bros.
Yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely. Can we get a bus?
What do you want to do with this bus? You know what? We'll keep this off the record. We'll plan it out later.
But yeah, that was definitely how everything started and conceptualized this way, and then it blew up, and the movie did really good. It almost got an award for visual effects.
Damn, what beat it? You better not say Forrest Gump. What was it?
Forrest Gump.
Oh, son of a bitch! I love that movie.
Right, but yeah, I guess so.
And it's crazy too because that movie pretty much launched Cameron Diaz's career, because after that she did Something About Mary.
Oh yes.
And then other rom-coms, but that's like really where like we all first saw her, because first movie.
And again, like the hottest she's ever been was that movie. Like she was pretty in Something About Mary, and but the hottest she ever was The Mask, in my opinion, me personally.
Well,
Like,
did you hear that, Miss Diaz? You are grade A ugly now,
she's
according to Journey.
no, she's still right. No, she's still great. She's actually ripening quite perfectly.
Did you say riping? He's a fucking tomato or a banana.
What older the berry, sweeter the juice.
I love that movie too. Well, speaking of things that aren't exactly aging well, do you think this movie has aged well?
Yes. I feel like it was perfect when I was a kid and I enjoyed it as a kid. Watched it as an adult and enjoyed it even more as an adult. And there's nothing like super like offensive about it, and
Like
it's
problematic.
Yeah, and there's nothing really problematic about it. Like I think it's an overall pretty great movie, and I'm surprised that it never really got like became like a super cult classic, but it was always kind of like popular. Just
Right.
it never became a cult classic, which kind of
Yeah, I see what you're
I
saying.
wonder, yeah.
But I mean, I think it's also really cool that it's one of Jim Carrey's essential movies. Like, if someone asked you, "What Jim Carrey movie should I watch?" What would be your top 5?
That's the thing. I feel like most people wouldn't say The Mask, but
You think so?
I feel like most of them would be say Truman Show, Ace Ventura 1 and 2. Shit, I can't think of the other ones, but like I feel like The Mask would probably be like until you mentioned me, like, hey, what about The Mask? It'd be like, oh no, shit, yeah, no, you're right, The Mask.
Okay.
Like I feel like it's a very forgettable title.
Wow. Okay. Crazy.
I feel like it is because like I
Well-
mean you don't really see that much about it unless it pops up on
Unless
TV
someone's like reminded about it.
or a streaming service. They never put out masks or merchandise on it. Like
Yeah, you don't really see a lot of Mask merchandise.
yeah, or like they never really push the comics that much either. It's like there wasn't, and I feel like that's how what makes movies last longer when it's like merchandised or
Right, like to sort of like, I guess, immortalize it or
immortalizes. Like I've seen plenty of like Truman Show posters
Really?
at conventions. Yes, I've seen Truman Show posters at conventions.
Huh.
Never seen a Mask poster. You see Ace Ventura fucking everywhere. You see toys.
So maybe it is kind of a mix of
Bruce,
cult classic.
Bruce Almighty. There you go. There you go. Bruce Almighty. That's
Yes
another
Man.
movie. The Yes Man. Those are all other movies that you would say in your top 5 before The Mask.
Kick Ass 2.
Kick Out. Oh yeah. Well, it's weird because
I wouldn't mention that one.
because like he wasn't too happy about his role in Kick Ass 2.
It's been forever. So I guess what would be your top 5 Jim Carreys? And just to make it easier, no particular order.
Oh, no particular. Perfect. Thank you. I honestly like definitely would say Ace Ventura, 2, definitely
Okay.
Ace Ventura 2, because I mean you kind of get the gist of the first one by just watching the second one. Ace Ventura 2, definitely Yes Man, The Truman Show, definitely, The Mask. Yeah, definitely. I feel like The Mask has to be.
I feel like you would say Eternal Sunshine.
Oh man, for the longest, Eternal Sunshine definitely. If I'm saying Jim Carrey, where you can see his whole like prowess, definitely
His whole like, range.
Yeah, his range. I would definitely then say Eternal Sunshine.
It's such a sad, depressing movie.
And it's kind of perfect because in real life he was pretty sad and depressed.
Yeah.
Well, he's one of the few Hollywood actors that like openly talks and about his depression,
Like brings sort of awareness to
it about how heavy and how fucked up it is, and like, hey, I'm fucking sad. Like he'll say it out in the middle of an interview. I'm fucking sad.
That's true. So 5th movie?
Yep. Eternal Sunshine. Yeah.
Got it. Solid list.
No, definitely.
What about you, detective? Well, for me,
You don't even give me room. I mean, I don't care about you.
I need things now, okay? Instant gratification. So in no particular order, Dumb and Dumber, 1,000,000%.
Fuck it.
Fuck that.
Shit. I should have put that in too.
I messed up your whole list. I'll give you one more chance. Go ahead, go.
No, continue.
All right. Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, part 2. Truman Show was great.
Yeah.
Mask. I almost forgot. You're
Yeah,
right. To your
yeah,
point.
yeah.
We're just talking about it. I forgot about it. I liked Yes Man. Eternal Sunshine was good. Number 23. I fucking hated it. Sonic, maybe? There's Grinch.
You know,
I'll probably say Grinch.
Fuck Grinch. Damn, I forgot about Grinch.
Or Series of Unfortunate Events. He was pretty good in that.
Yeah, I'm gonna replace Yes Man with Dumb and Dumber.
Scratch that. Okay, I got my list. You ready? You ready? I forgot about this one movie he did in the 80s where it was a comedy vampire movie.
Oh,
Once Bitten.
Once Bitten. Wait, what about one of his first acting roles, which was
Earth Girls Are Easy?
Earth Girls Are Easy.
Yeah.
Although he didn't really talk much in that.
No, but it's always cool to see a really young Jim Carrey.
Really, really young.
All right, here we go. Dumb and Dumber.
But Once Bitten though? Really? Like,
yeah. You don't really see him in any like vampire movies.
True, but also like we're talking about his acting range and like they didn't involve that
It's
much.
my list, okay? I pick what the fuck I want. I'll pick Dumb and Dumber 5 times. I don't give a shit.
Fine, do your shit.
I'll eat it, baby. I don't care.
Oh wow. Wow.
I'll prove my point.
That got dark.
Like a baby chicken, maybe like an egg. Like what breakfast food. Anyways.
Like still formed?
No.
Like it's still formed and a little red and the yolk's not even yolky.
Are you yolking right now?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura 2, The Mask, almost forgot again, Once Bitten, and Truman Show. It's a hard. It's Jim
Carrey, man. I idolized him for the longest. I still do. I love how like just funny and goofy he was, and how amazing he was in SNL. I saw a bunch of clips. We can go back and watch.
He wasn't in SNL. He was in Living Color.
Living Color. Sorry, yeah.
With the Wayans brothers.
Yeah,
hilarious. Homie, don't play that.
Yep.
So yeah, I also agree that the movie has aged pretty well. There's really nothing that I can see that's problematic. It's still pretty entertaining. It's still an amazing performance from Jim Carrey. The live action living cartoon character just sort of brings it to life, and it's just an absolute must watch for any sort of comedy fan or even a comic book adaptation, I guess.
Yeah.
And just overall it's quintessential for the 90s.
Absolutely. There was just so many references in that and just so many iconic stuff, and there was so much thought behind the whole thing that it's definitely a movie worth the watch, like a couple times. 1 or 2, 3 times.
Well, that is gonna do it for us. Let's take another drink to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Jim Carrey's iconic The Mask. Cheers.
Clink.
Although your cup is empty and there's no alcohol in it.
There was a drop. There was a drop in it.
I'll take it.
You always leave a drop.
I hate when people drink something and they make that fucking sound. Like, I don't know why. I hate that.
Is it all those times you watch the Coca-Cola commercials?
It just annoys me. Like when people yawn with their mouth open and make that sound like a fucking bear coming out of hibernation. As I get older, I'm realizing a lot of things are just bugging me. I'm ready to be that grumpy old man.
I want to be a senile old man.
What do you mean? You already are.
No, I want to be like real senile, where I can go outside and flick off little kids with just give them the middle finger.
That'd be the first thing you do,
and not get in trouble.
You do that to my son.
Huh? Well, you're not looking.
Oh. Well, again, that's going to do it for us. Once again, if you like what you heard, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel where we still pump out some content.
Not the eating baby parts. If you like that parts, don't.
Oh, yeah. Editor, did you take note on what to cut? All right. Well, anyways, if there's any scenes we missed or anything else you want to add to it, please let us know in the comments down below. Once again, I am Detective Artemis.
No, I'm Journey.
And we drink and we watch things.